he understand that? If he personally understand
That I don't know. That I know is but it's the first what does it
you know, Jimmy Young. Jimmy and he actually published it. So he and I we are like huge YouTube. So he published that Happy with Me. And he actually I think he's
You know, I thought it was funny. There's so controversy about this letter. I thought I know the guy. Take a look at
Good morning. My name is Orlando Felix. I'm the Vice President of the Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the 2017 International Conference. First of all, let me recognize the Honorable Dr. Louis Brown, Consul of Barbados. Do we have any other elected officials? Then this is going to be real quick. You all have the agenda. You're welcome to the conference. And I'm going to be followed by a very important person. She is going to talk to us about the U.S.-China Relation Foundation. This is Ms. Ling Lau. Before you do that, you know, everything, when we do things live, we always, do something that wasn't supposed to. But I forgot to tell you something. Love FM, the radio station, TV station of Belize, is broadcasting this live to Belize and to the world. And now with you, Ling.
Dear Honorable Leondra Thompson, Chairman of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, dear distinguished dignitaries and guests from CARICOM and the United States and China, dear ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. It's my great honor to be here today to be the co-chair of the 2017 Planet Work, the fourth International Conference. I want to give my thanks Tri-County Regional Chamber of Commerce to give me this opportunity to work very closely and very hard, trying to bring to our Houston community a unique and splendid showcase of CARICOM cultures, traditions, and business opportunities. Let's give our first round of applause to Ms. Leondra. Leondra Thompson is a great leader in Houston community. She worked tirelessly in organizing and coordinating with so many countries so that we can have a successful international conference. Today's conference, we have a theme, global readiness for small business entrepreneurs, that is open to all business firms seeking information and assistance to prepare for international business dealing, to increase the awareness and the participation of small firms doing business in CARICOM member countries, especially engaging Belize, a presidency country of CARICOM last year. I'm honored to represent U.S.-China Relations Foundation to sponsor today's conference. For the past 9 years, U.S.-China Relations Foundation has been working very hard to bridge relationships between USA and China in economy, science and technology, cultural, education, and energy fields, brought lots of business opportunities to communities in both countries, and improved the mutual understanding and the relationship between Chinese and American people. As we all know, the world is flat right now, and globalization is unavoidable trend and the rule of the market. Only when we all get ready to participate in this globalization, we can then benefit from it, grow with it. Right now, China is building One Belt, One Road global strategy. We, American business, should not stay outside this big picture. We should fully utilize our experiences, our skills, and resources to build One Belt, One Road, and the connected dots with China, USA, and the CARICOM, and to bring understanding and support, as well as business development and prosperity to all people on this road. For this purpose, U.S.-China Relations Foundation has been working very closely with Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We're very excited to see this effort coming true today. And we keep working with 2017 Planned Work International Conference. We have delegations from China, and delegations from CARICOM. These delegations consist of business investors looking for interacting with member firms and entrepreneurs seeking to do business with their prospective countries at such high-level international conference. Among all our distinguished investors and guests, I'm proud to present and introduce a distinguished dignitary from Washington, D.C., Honorable Bob G. Mr. G is the founding president of Asian Americans in Energy, the Environment and Commerce. He is the first Asian American chairman of Texas Public Utility Commission, and 2 terms as Assistant Secretary of Energy in Energy Department under President Clinton administration. Let's give him one more clap. And also, Mr. G also working on fossil fuel, clean energy, and U.S.-China energy exchange programs. Now let's welcome Ms. Bob G to give us a remark.
I need to leave not though. No.
Thank you, Lee, for that very warm introduction. I do want to thank our hosts today, the Tri-County Black Regional Chamber of Commerce. You honor me for having you address you here today. One thing that Lee did not mention was that Houston is actually my hometown. I was born years ago. I drove down Holmes Road many, many times, folks, so I know this area real well. I know your community real well. And as she mentioned, as Lee mentioned, I did also have the privilege of serving in state government. And even though I lived in Austin at the time, served in the Public Utility Commission, I came back, and a lot of my old friends and political supporters and whatnot, friends from college and friends from high school all still live here, so it's great to be back. As Lee mentioned, I've been privileged to live in Washington for some time now, having served in the Clinton administration, and since then I've been in the private sector. One of the projects that we started was the creation of a nonprofit that we call Asian Americans in Energy, Environment, and Commerce. And our vision statement states that we aspire to be the leading organization, Asian American organization, at the intersection of energy, environment, and commerce matters here in the United States and abroad, bridging the business practices, values, and cultures of Asia and the United States. And I would note that I would emphasize the term bridging because that is what you're engaged in today with the conference that you're holding today, to introduce people, to get to know one another between those of you who do business here in Houston, in your communities, and those in the Caribbean countries. And I salute our representatives from the Caribbean region. We welcome your presence here in the United States. I had an opportunity at the U.S. Department of Energy to work very closely on commercial advocacy matters with our U.S. Department of Commerce, USDA, Exim Bank, OPIC, some of the agencies that I know that are supporting your efforts today. And I think this is exactly what your organization and what this conference is all about. Building bridges for commercial activity, building bridges to make friends, to help build bridges to span the divide, if you will, that separates us by geography, so that we can get to know one another better in the global community. So I thank you for having me address you here today. Have a wonderful conference, and good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bauchi, and let's give him one more round of applause. Now next, allow me to introduce the members of U.S.-China Relations Foundation delegation. Ms. Jenny Ho, 2017 U.S. Minority in Energy Ambassador from Washington, D.C., my best friend. Mr. Zhu Chuanwu, CEO of Efine Pharmaceutical Company Limited from China. Mr. Zhu. Ms. Dongmei Gao Dongmei, General Manager of Efine Pharmaceutical Company Limited from China. Mr. Kevin Xu, Director of Infrastructure Development Fund of Hong Kong. Kevin Xu. Lingli Zhou, Ms. Lingli Zhou, Senior Vice President Investment of Donghai Investment Group, Dongtai. Mr. Xiong Yu, President of Xingyu Group USA Inc. from China. Ms. Jia Tongyu, President of Penray Group USA Inc. She's from China. Ms. Xinxin Zhou, Vice President of Xinxu Group USA. Thank you for you all. Hope we have a very successful conference today. Thank you.
Wouldn't you agree? All right. So let me see the hands of the other troopers in this room. Y'all clapped, only one person followed instructions. The hands of the troopers in this room. All right. Now you can clap to the troopers. We're going to go ahead on and begin our program. So I'm going to call up Danae LaFleur, who is the chief protocol of, she's chief of protocol of the City of Houston International, I'm going to say Trade and International Affairs. She's going to give you a little information about herself. I think everybody should tell you about themselves. I can't tell you everything about her that she can do better than me. So Ms. Danae, would you come on up? And please give her a hand. Also, we're going to have Mr. Richard Ryan. You're going to come up, Richard, because you're going to be talking next. We're going to have Sonia Maldonado, SBA. And Richard, I said Richard, but we have Peter. Is that all that's on that list? Is there more on that? I don't have the list in front of me.
Good morning, everyone. As Leandria said, my name is Danae LaFleur. I'm Chief of Protocol for the City of Houston, Mayor's Office of Trade and International Affairs. I'm also the president of Casa Cultural de las Americas, a group that's responsible for, it's a nonprofit organization that's responsible for promoting the culture of the Americas within the United States. I'm honored to be here today and honored to serve as the moderator of this next panel. The mayor's office is committed to promoting trade among all the different regions of the world. It's a position that I've been in for the last 15 years, and I can say that all of Houston's mayors have been truly committed to international trade, as they recognize that that's one of the lifeblood industries, or one of the lifebloods of our economy. And this mayor in particular has been extremely supportive of the international community and international trade as well. So thank you all for coming this morning. We have an excellent panel today for Tri-County's Global Readiness Entering the CARICOM Markets. This panel will be able to answer all of your questions about entering the Caribbean market, a market that has vast potential to attract foreign direct investment that allows investors to take a regional approach, a single destination with multiple national possibilities. In CARICOM, investors can expect economic and political stability, a skilled labor force, accessibility through international airports, and openness to international trade. So the format, first I will give the biographical information of our first speaker. He will give a short presentation, and then I'll come back and introduce the next speaker. Then at the end, we'll take questions. We have about 1 hour for the panel, and so each speaker has been offered about 10-15 minutes, up to 10 or 15 minutes to provide a presentation, and then we'll take questions for all of them at the end. So our first speaker, Richard Ryan, Richard Lapin is an old colleague of mine, and I just said Lapin. I apologize, sir. Richard Ryan became the director of U.S. and Foreign Commercial Service International Trade Administration, U.S. Department of Commerce in Houston in the summer of 2015. Mr. Ryan formulated trade policy and advised management and stakeholders with formulating proactive and forward-thinking strategies to position the commercial service for the future. He conceived the policy guidance for Invest in America, an administration initiative to encourage foreign investment into the United States. And so, Mr. Ryan, the floor is yours to explain your agency and to let the audience know how they can make their investment dollars work. Thank you so much.
Top of the morning. It's an international group. I'm of Irish descent. In Ireland, top of the morning means about 4 things. It means, how are you doing? Nice to meet you. Hope you have a great day, and I really want to see you again. So top of the morning to everybody. Thank you. Believe it or not, I started my life when I got out of the Marine Corps in Houston, Texas. I had a job at Pricewaterhouse downtown. It's about 5 blocks from where I work today. Raised a family here, 2 hooligans, both boys. Had a business here, and then got involved in government in the Advocacy Center in Washington, D.C. I just want to thank everyone for inviting me, Leandria especially. I want to mention, I'm calling them the Love family. It's the family that's bringing this meeting back to Belize via technology. And the gentleman and his family are just wonderful. Why don't you stand up? Yeah. And his wonderful daughter. And the son-in-law's here somewhere. Anyway, I just think it's good to remember people. Son, like I said, not too smart. There he is. Okay. He's got everybody working, right? It's a real family business. I just wanted to mention that because I had a family business, and I just think it's wonderful. I'm amazed today. I came here to talk about the Department of Commerce. I don't want to spend a lot of time. I'm going to ask my colleague Peter to do that. But it's so refreshing to see all the people from China here. I'm one of these people that actually believes when goods cross borders, armies don't. As naive as that may sound, but it's amazing to me, since I've been involved in government for a while, how governments sometimes argue with each other, but business people just keep on doing business. And I just want to applaud all of you for that. Just keep on keeping on. Our job at the Department of Commerce here in Houston is to help U.S. companies trade. That increases jobs in our estimation for the economy. We advocate for companies that are trying to get especially procurements from other governments so that we can help level the playing field and make it fair for U.S. companies. We also do what we call commercial diplomacy, which would be helping you in other countries. When I say this, I don't mean if you get in trouble, but sometimes it's hard to leave America and go to another country and understand all the laws, and you have questions. So it's good to be able to rely on your government to help you sort things out. We like to do that, which I kind of say that's protecting people when you go to other countries. And then, as mentioned, Invest in America has morphed into an Obama administration policy called Select USA. And that's about asking other countries to really consider moving to the United States to start businesses. And that's what I'm really involved with here in Houston. And it's amazing. Large companies come, but there is a multitude of small companies coming from other countries to open businesses here in the Houston area. And for me, I just look at that as the next evolution of trade. So now I'm going to close my mouth, and I'm going to ask Peter to give you a little bit more detail about what our office does and how we might help you. So thank you.
So I'll bring up now Peter Teteris. He joined the Houston Export Assistance Center in September 2015 after serving for over 4 years with the U.S. and Foreign Commercial Service at the U.S. Embassy in Athens, Greece. In his position, Peter focuses on energy and healthcare. He combines government resources to assist Houston area companies optimize their business plans for entering foreign markets. Peter?
Can we get the PC, please? Yes. All right. Good morning. Can everybody hear me? All right. What I would like to do today is provide you an overview of what the U.S. Commercial Service does to U.S. companies and how we help them export their products overseas. As you know, the world is open for business. Are you? Some of the crucial questions that we need to address is how do we create wealth for our stakeholders, our community, and our employees? We need to look at the bottom line. We want to mitigate cash flow risk, improve a company branding. And how do we do this? There's a few ways. And one of them is exporting. When we export goods and products overseas, we improve the bottom line, mitigate cash flow risks, because we don't depend on cash only from selling to the U.S., but other countries as well. And of course, we improve our branding, which means the more awareness our brand has, the bigger the buying potential. Now, a lot of small, medium companies look at exporting when they look at the window, and they're sometimes afraid, and they don't want to venture out to new countries. They don't want to open the door because there's a lot of uncertainty. So they're afraid to move outside their comfort zone, which is perhaps Houston, some other near states that they sell into. But this is where we come in. When you visit us, we'll sit with you. We'll define the business model you have. We'll provide a roadmap to a country you want to export your products and services. And hopefully, when we do this, you'll be able to reap the results, which is gain wealth for your company. Now, who are we? We're basically the export arm of the U.S. Commercial, of the Department of Commerce International Trade Administration. And our mandate, as Richard has mentioned, is to help U.S. companies export their products and services around the globe. And we have offices around the world, 75 consulates and U.S. embassies. And basically, and we focus mainly on small, medium enterprises, which is businesses like the ones you have. Now, how is our office organized? We have a director, which is Richard Ron, you've seen before here. We have 4 trade specialists, which we focus, each trade specialist focuses on an industry and is territory based. What does this mean? We all have assigned zip codes. So if you're in a, if your business is located in a zip code that is 77002, for instance, then you would come to me for me to guide you and try to find a model of exporting your products and services overseas. And our office covers the greater Houston area. And of course, we also have 2 global team leaders, and they're basically, one is in energy and one is in advanced manufacturing. And these team leaders help us or train the commercial specialists to gain more knowledge on their industries. There's many things that we can do that no one else can do. First of all, the U.S. Commercial Service provides U.S. companies unparalleled access to business opportunities around the world. As I mentioned earlier, we have offices and consulates and embassies around the world, so we have people that know very well the local market and what needs to be done for one to enter the markets. We have good relationships with all the governments where we serve. And our specialists around the world do have expertise in their local markets, which means if you want to go to Brazil, we have local staff that will provide us with all the information you need, trade statistics, competition, for you to build your export model. And we help thousands of U.S. businesses export their products overseas. Now, how do we do this? First of all, we invite the business, or we go to their place, and we find out if this business is ready to has products that are ready to be exported. If not, then we send them to SBA for them to get a business plan in order. Now, once a company has a product and a service and wants to export, then we'll sit down and we'll identify markets where this product and service can be successfully exported. We'll determine the sales potential, and of course we'll sit down with the company and implement the plan. Now, when we sell overseas, there's basically 2 categories of markets we look into: developing markets and developed markets. We have situations where we look at specific projects, for instance, infrastructure, but this could be LNG terminals to be built, or we can export products, continuous export of products, for instance, iPhones. The other thing that we need to look in is distribution channels. It is very important to identify the appropriate distribution channel if we want to be successful overseas. And of course, the market is divided into 2 categories: the private sector and the public sector. Now, developing countries are mainly funded by the public sectors, and this is where we focus on. Now, what do we provide to our businesses here in the U.S.? We help them we counsel them. This is the basket of goods that we have available for the U.S. businesses. We provide market research. We identify buyers and distributors. We conduct due diligence. As Richard mentioned, we advocate and do commercial diplomacy. We promote your product overseas. We participate in trade missions and also trade events where you can promote your product of goods and services. Now, what does trade counseling entail? We usually, like I mentioned earlier, we invite the company to either come to our premises or we go to their premises. And what do? We sit with the company to determine the best possible market for them to export. We evaluate international competitors. It is very important because if there's a lot of competition, we inform the company perhaps not to go into this challenging market. We also inform them of any legal matters and regulatory issues that require a product to enter a market. We also are involved in settling disputes, especially when involved with government contracts. And of course, we inform our U.S. Businesses of the culture specificities when they enter a particular market. Market research. I think this is very important. We advise companies not to go with their gut feeling. You need to have data, data, data. It is very important for you to make a decision, because you might decide, well, Brazil might be a good market, or let's say Mexico, which is near the border, perhaps it is. But then the statistics, the data we have could indicate that Canada might be a better fit for you to enter. We also produce country commercial guide. This is produced by our staff and diplomats at the embassies around the world. This provides information of the local country, economic situation, political climate, and how to establish a business in that particular country. And also we do customized market research. What does this mean? If a company comes to us and says, I'd like to find out more information on the Brazilian LNG market, we'll identify what the company is looking for, and then we will go to the Brazilian market, use our local staff there, and provide a report to this company to decide if they want to enter the market or not. We also do custom buyer matching services. What does this mean? This means that if a company comes to us and says, I'd like to find potential buyers in Germany, we will then go out with our partners in Germany and identify 4 or 5 potential partners which are vetted by us, and you have the opportunity to interview these companies and decide if you want to go ahead or not, and go into a contractual agreement. We will provide a customized report based on the country you want to enter. And also, if you decide to take this program, we'll also help you with accommodation. So basically, we provide a total package. So you come to us, we identify the buyers, the country you want to go to, we advise you, then we plan the meetings for you. So basically, the only thing you have to do is buy the plane ticket, we'll book the hotels for you, good rates. So you land in that country, you interview the prospect buyers or distributors or partners, and then you decide if you want to go with them or not. And then you're back in the country. So this will take maybe a couple of days. You're in and out, and we do all the work for you, except deciding who to choose. Okay. We also have another program, the International Partner Search. Here we provide a list of 4 to 5 companies that you can work. But this is done, so here in Houston, you want to find companies in Turkey, Istanbul. We'll identify 5 companies for you, depending on the product or service you have. We'll provide you a feedback based on what these companies told us about your product, and we will give you the contact information for you to directly contact the companies and take it one step further if you want to do business with them or not. Due diligence. A lot of times we see companies, they come to us and say, okay, you know what? I've been getting a lot of requests for my product to be represented in different regions, different countries of the world. And they do not know the person behind this request. And what we do with the due diligence is we're able, with our staff overseas, to go to this company to find out, first of all, is this a viable company? Is this a real company? We provide financial information on the company. We provide, what is the structure of the company? A list of key officers and senior management. I mentioned financial information. We provide also sales of the company and profit figures. And at the end, we provide a report to you saying that, hey, this is a good company, a good fit for you to proceed. But if we find any red flags, we'll also come back and say, maybe this is not a good company to work with at this point. We need to look at this after 6 months and so on. So very important. The Advocacy Center, this is something that has been mentioned here twice. We advocate on behalf of U.S. companies, and this is done basically from business to government. So if there's any big tenders around the world, big governments, our mandate is to try to have a level playing field for all U.S. companies to participate in the tender. A lot of times, companies are excluded, and this is where we come in, and we talk to the governments and say, why is this particular company excluded, or why are you excluding U.S. companies? And by working with the local governments, we're able to have U.S. companies participate. This does not mean that you'll be selected, but it means you'll have a fair share of being selected. Commercial diplomacy. Commercial diplomacy, this is when you have some tariff issues, reduction of elimination of foreign trade barriers, or prevention of new barriers. Let me give you an example. Before coming here, I was at the U.S. Embassy in Athens, Greece. We had frequent discussions with the ministers, up to with the judicial system as well, procurement process. And one of the issues we faced, there was a company, a U.S. company, that could not enter the market for the past 10 years. We had discussions with the minister, his advisory board, and after we've provided all the information, the company was able to participate in a tender which it won after 10 years. So this is the way we commercially advocate on behalf of U.S. companies as well. Now, there's other programs we have. So if you want to advertise overseas, we're able to translate your company, and we'll provide it at our U.S. Embassy website. So a lot of local companies can look into and contact you. We also do single company promotions at the U.S. embassies around the world, where you're invited to promote your product. And particularly we do this if you want to get a message across government entities. So if there's a product you want to introduce to the hospital sector, we'll invite the Minister of Health. We'll invite the hospital opinion leaders. And this is what the company will do a presentation on its products and why it has a good fit, a position in this particular country. We also do trade missions. Trade missions, we do many trade missions per year. Sometimes we visit one or more country within a trade mission. And you meet basically with pre-screened potential end user distributors, agents, and strategic partners. When you go to the country, we provide marketing briefs. So you're aware of what the situation is, who you'll be seeing, and also you'll be doing business-to-business meetings. And you'll be seeing local officials during these strategic trade missions. Now, some of the trade missions that are coming up, we have a trade mission to Central America. As you can see, it's Costa Rica, El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, Belize, Nicaragua, opportunity for U.S. companies to visit these countries and see the potential and perhaps close deals. We have a trade mission, cybersecurity trade mission to Canada in July. We have a trade mission to China, wastewater mission. This is in September. And we also, if you're looking at the southeast European part of Europe, then we have a trade mission in October 16th to the 24th. And this can all be accessed through our www.export.gov site. We're also involved with the International Buyer Program. What does this mean? These are trade shows that are approved by the Department of Commerce, where we encourage our local staff to recruit delegates to come to U.S. trade shows. And by doing this, the delegates meet with U.S. companies, and they decide if they want to do business with them overseas. And we also do certified trade missions, which are basically planned by trade associations. It could be your trade association here. You might decide you want to go to Belize, and we'll organize the trade mission on your behalf. But this is a decision that the Post locally has to take, not us. And now, how does the U.S. Commercial Service contribute to creating wealth? As you probably know, GDP is based on consumption, government spending, and this is where we come in. Richard mentioned inward investment. We reach out to countries, inviting them to invest in the U.S. What does this do? It creates jobs for our community here. And of course, we're involved in the net export, which is exports minus imports. And our job is to assist U.S. companies export their products overseas. And this is how we create value. I want to thank you. And if you do have any questions, you can always contact the www.export.gov or give us a call. And be assured we'll reach out back to you and provide the answers you need to successfully export your products and services overseas. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter. That was a very, very informative presentation. Next, we'll bring to the podium Sonia Maldonado. Ms. Maldonado is representing the Small Business Administration and is a lender relations specialist. In her role at the SBA, she is focused on optimizing the deployment of SBA loan programs. She presents trainings on how to become an SBA lender and provides tools to help lenders improve the loan processing experience for borrowers. She is also the District International Trade Officer. She does export outreach to lenders, small businesses, economic development entities, and serves as a point of contact for international trade inquiries. Please welcome Ms. Sonia Maldonado.
Good morning, everybody. Before we set up my PowerPoint, I have a lot of information to present to you. There's also information on our table, SBA table, and there's other tables here as well to provide you with a lot of information. SBA has been around for quite some time, since 1953, and our mission basically is to be able to assist small businesses with financing. My focus today, I'm going to give you a quick recap of all of the programs. Yes. And, I will focus on the three main export loan programs that the SBA provides for those that are here and interested in exporting to other countries, so we can provide you with the money. Another thing, if you're here and you're already in business and you're interested in receiving news from our office, you want to sign up by visiting the sba.gov/TX/Houston. We have many offices throughout the United States, so I needed to make sure that I tell you TX and then /Houston so that you can sign up for emails and information about trainings, about policy notices, etc. So as you can see, the SBA national page, and this is our office. So basically the agency, again, has been around since 1953, and our mission is to be able to provide you the small business, medium business, and also a large business as well. But, you know, SBA has size standards, and a lot of federal government agencies also utilize it to make sure that you don't exceed those size standards. So if you're interested in finding out whether or not you're a small business, you can go to sba.gov/size to determine whether or not you're a small business. This is just providing you some insights again about the SBA, and this is giving you information as to all of the things that the SBA does. We provide you with the capital. Actually, we provide you with the guarantee. So the lender provides you with the financing, and the SBA provides a guarantee to the lender. The other thing that we're very popular for is through our resource partners, we provide business counseling and training. You can visit with SCORE, Counselors to America's Small Business, or the small business development centers. Anybody here familiar with the small business development centers? Okay, excellent. Hopefully you're already utilizing them, and also reach out to the business counselors because they also have expertise in particular industries that you may want to explore or get some insights and make them your mentors. SBA also provides business government contracting. We have a separate division for this group. If you're interested in doing business with the federal government, we have 3 certifications that a client or a small business can apply for and find out. You can go into the SBA website, sba.gov/8A or HubZone or Women-Owned Small Business to see if you qualify for that particular certification. Also, the SBA does disaster assistance. SBA, this is the only loan program that the SBA provides directly to not just small businesses, but also to people that have apartments and homes, and their homes were destroyed via, a hurricane or tornado. Usually, the president will have to declare an area a disaster, and then FEMA and the SBA would come out to assist small businesses in obtaining financing so that they can start recouping. Also, we have an office of advocacy, so if you're interested in some statistics on small businesses, you can go to the website also, sba.gov/ADVO, to find out a little bit more about statistical information and what this particular office does. And we also have an office of the National Ombudsman, and this is also an office that is here to provide you with information in case you're having problems with your business or a federal agent was out and you need some issues resolved. You can also contact this agency. The SBA has offices throughout the nation, and we have many offices here in Texas, but our Houston district office only covers 32 counties, so each office covers particular counties. And basically, if you're interested in applying and you feel that you're not ready to get your loan, or if you want to get your loan, you can go directly to the lenders. I have some resource guides here. There's a list of lenders in the back, and you can call them. But to make your process a little bit easier, we totally recommend that you go to the small business development centers. They can help you put your loan package together and also match you with the particular lender that you meet their criteria, because not all lenders do SBA loans. Not all lenders have the same criteria. So you want to look at, what industry the particular lenders are in, also what size loan amount they're making, and also what's very important is your credit score. That the lender, different lenders, different credit scores. But you can look at the resource guide for more insight on lenders, or you can give me a call. I have some business cards at my table. But this is a quick insight as to how the SBA guarantees your loan. So for the export loan program, if you need a $100,000 loan, SBA will guarantee the lender 90%. So if something happens to the loan or to the business, the SBA or the lender will request for its guarantee, and the SBA will pay the lender $90,000. These are some eligibility requirements, and I don't think that I have a lot of time to go over these. But a few, okay. So I can just go through a few. It's not for nonprofit businesses. SBA does do loans to for-profit businesses. And the other one that I want to focus on is also if you had student loans that you did not pay. Obviously, the federal government or the lenders have to check to see if there was any federal debt unpaid. Then you probably will not be able to get financing. But, those issues can be clarified. There's, of course, collateral, different lenders, different collateral requirements. The maximum collateral injection can be 30%, but some lenders have equity injection as low as 10%. It can be 15%. Again, it depends on the lender. And I was speaking earlier about size standards. This is basically how the SBA determines whether or not your small business is small. So let's say if you're in manufacturing, and there are different types of manufacturing businesses. Maybe your cap is that if you exceed 500 employees, then you're too big. But then there may be a different type of manufacturing business where your employees cannot exceed 1,500. And also, it could be either by the number of employees or by the annual gross receipts of the business. So if you exceed these amounts, then you're not considered small. So SBA and the lenders are looking at the 5 C's, character. They're looking at your cash flow. So if you don't have a sufficient cash flow for obtaining a loan, the SBA is not going to, or the lender will not be able to provide you financing if you're not going to be able to pay the loan back. Capitalization, conditions, all of these things are very important. It's a little bit detailed, but basically the benefits to the borrower is that you can get longer terms if you're utilizing an SBA loan. So depending on what the loan is for, it could be for working capital, it could be for equipment, it could be for construction, it could be for startups as well. So we do startups as well. There are some guarantee fees. I'm not going to go into these, and usually the lenders are the ones that would tell you about these guarantee fees. But just so that you know, if you're interested in a small loan up to $150,000, there's zero guarantee fee at this point. The administration did extend the guarantee fee or guarantee amount to be zero for this year, or federal government year, as you know, is October through September of the year. And then as you can see, the higher the loan amount, that would be the amount of the guarantee portion that the borrower would pay, but that could be paid via the loan amount. These are the interest rates, just so that you could get a quick snapshot of the interest rates. These are also capped at what the lender can charge you. Again, it depends on the loan amount. And we changed our name from 7A to Advantage Loan. So now our 7A program is called the Advantage Loan, and basically that is the SBA's main loan program. It's up to $5 million. I don't know if you've already worked with Ex-Im Bank, but Ex-Im Bank does not have a limit. They are the Export-Import Bank of the United States. Is also a federal bank, and we work closely together. Actually, we work with all of the entities that are here in providing you with information. So obviously, you know, all of us are providing you with different things, but we reference each other when we're out doing presentations. So these are the things that you could utilize the loan for. I've already mentioned. We also have an export business planner, so if you're interested in working with your loan, we recommend this export business planner. Take a look at it, because the lender and SBA requires for you to have one. These are our 3 export loans, so I'll be probably a few more minutes to explain to you about the 3 export loan products. We have many other loan products, but these are the International Trade and the Export Express and the Export Working Capital loans. So again, these are 90% guarantee, also up to $5 million. And basically for the international or the export working capital, you have to show that you're going into international trade, or you're expanding into international trade, or you need the financing to help you with your exporting. And these are the use of proceeds. I'm not going to go into all the details. If you're interested in this PowerPoint or more information, I have the resource guides, but I can email it to you. You can send me an email at sonia.maldonado@sba.gov. I'll talk to you about the international trade is also $5 million at 90% guarantee.